right, thanks a lot, Carrie. Well, here we go. Cold and flu season. We're right in the thick of it right now. But it's always a question people ask, when's the perfect time? When's the right time? I did it last week, Abby, as you know.
Yeah.
Dr. Desai's here, though, because it can be a guessing game, I suppose, or maybe not.
Right. When do we get our shots, Dr. Desai?
You know, if you had an ideal day, that would probably be right around Halloween, because that will offer protection throughout the United States peak flu season. But
all right. Well, thanks, Dr. Desai.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I remember a couple of years ago, I think I made you sing Shakira wherever, whenever.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can get it at some place a few weeks before, go ahead and get it then. You know, don't necessarily wait for the perfect date.
Right.
Well, and I have heard some reports of the flu already being out there. So I would imagine, even if you were to get it now, maybe, yeah, like you said, whenever, wherever.
Yeah, there isn't a... We're going to start sick soon, especially as we heard the weather's going to turn a little bit chillier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and last week here at work, I got the new COVID and the flu one, and I was very tired for 2 or 3 days. And if that's happened to you, I can relate, but also there's good news, right, Dr. Desai?
Yeah, there might be a sign, as Abby had told us, because she's very smart.
That did say it on camera.
Yeah, that might be a good sign that your body's responding well to that. So your antibodies are being produced. That'll help you fight off that COVID and make it a little bit less severe than otherwise might be if you hadn't gotten the vaccine.
Yeah, as my coworker here, Jeff Garman, we've been commiserating. So you hear that, Jeff? That means you're a healthy man and you're doing the right things because you're feeling groggy.
That's right. Enjoy.
Yes.
And, you know, I think that there is sort of like an incubation period, correct, for when the shots become activated? And how long is that for each vaccine?
It's usually about 2 weeks for each vaccine.
Okay.
It just depends on your body, what you do afterwards and stuff. But about 2 weeks.
Yeah. And the big takeaway, too, because there's always the negative Nellies that sometime in the spring they'll say, oh, it wasn't the right match. See, you suckers, you got it for nothing. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not the perfect match, I think for both of them, it's worth the risk. It's worth, not the risk, it's worth getting.
2% less likely to be hospitalized.
And so for those who... All right, well, I apologize. We're having a few technical issues here.
No worries.
So how can you tell if you have the flu, a cold, or COVID?
You know, that is a symptoms. If you have a man cold, of course, you have the most audible symptoms.
I like that, the man cold.
But if you have a loss of sense of smell or taste, that's probably COVID. But there is a lot of overlap, especially if you've gotten immunized. So you might have fatigue from flu or COVID, you know, not as much the cold. And then if you have influenza, you're more likely to have muscle aches and body aches and a sudden high fever. But the best way is to get tested, so you can order those free tests again from the government too and keep them at home to be sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we might actually, there's talk that we could possibly give ourselves flu vaccines next year with the nasal spray. Is that true? And what does that look like?
Yeah, so some people don't like needles, so they get the nasal spray. Some people shouldn't get it based on their immune systems and who they live with, so that might just be an easier alternative to the shot, and it provides about the same degree of coverage against the flu.
And that, because that's an active flu virus, right? So that one, if you're living with someone who's immunocompromised, or if you are, is that right? It's not for you?
Yeah, you don't want to have any chance of giving that to somebody else.
Okay.
So
yeah,
just bite the bullet and get the shot.
Yeah, yeah. It only takes a second. That's what I tell my kiddos.
That's right.
And then, you know, then the shock sets in, and everybody gets a sucker.
That's right. That's right.
Dr. Desai, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr.
My
Desai.
pleasure as always.